So for this negative space drawing, I set up 2 bar stools, just like that, kind of with their legs crossing, making interesting shapes in between, and also with space behind them visible through the openings between their legs. So you just want to find something in your home that creates these open spaces. Chairs and stools are great. Also, maybe like big leafy plants would work as well. Anything that creates interesting negative space. So you can use any material for this project. I'm going to start with a pencil to draw my contour line drawing. You can do a continuous contour, or you can kind of sketch in your objects and maybe consider an interesting composition. I'm doing it horizontally so you can see it on the screen better. And make sure that some of your lines interact with the edges of the page. So I'm gonna kind of make this a little bit larger. This will take you some time, so don't rush through it, especially if you're doing something like a chair or a stool like I'm doing. So take your time to sketch it in. I'm sketching in first the general forms, and I think this one sits right here. And once I have drawn the forms, what I want to bring out are the spaces between. So I'm drawing the contours, here we go, like this. But what I'm interested in are the openings that are created between the legs. And it's those negative spaces you see in their interesting shapes that I'm paying attention to and noting them in my drawing. It's like you have to refocus your eye and what it is that you're looking at. And that's really our practice here, is for you to notice not only the positive forms of the legs and the parts of the chair, but also the spaces in between that those forms create. And that's really what we refer to when we say negative space in drawing or negative shapes in drawing. What we refer to, so here is a curve of the chair, but it is the space in between, the space that's created by that curve, that I am looking at and paying attention to, and that's the negative space. And just like you look at the shapes that the legs are, what shapes the legs are, what shapes the chairs, so I am really paying attention at the proportions of these forms and trying to sketch them in accurately as to what I notice. Trying to make my legs straight in the process. There's a very skinny one right here. So you could see how the chairs will kind of emerge even though I am drawing the spaces between them and not the actual chair itself. It's a little bit more at an angle, so right here it starts to create another shape. And when you're done, you may want to check to make sure, like, see how my leg turned out a little bit crooked as a result, so I may make adjustments there. It's a bit tricky for me to draw with this tripod in my way. All right, so something like this. Of course, take your time, and this is just the beginning. So once you have sketched this, now you're really gonna go to what it is that you see through these openings. So you're going to draw everything that you see through. So what I see, and you're going to have to refocus your eye continuously, because I see objects and things at different depth of space. So for example, at first I have this really cool plant here, and that's in the, you know, a little bit closer to the chairs, and then further away I have the edge of the wall of the living room, and then I have some another plant in there, and then I can also see an edge of a fireplace in here, so that'll create an interesting detail right here. And this is all taken up by this plant, and I think just for the sake of time I'm going to go to charcoal just so that I can complete this drawing for you. So there's the plant, and right here, much closer than the plant, is an edge of a box, and right here is an edge of the table that the chairs are actually sitting on, and on it there's a spray bottle, yes, and a bunch of clay sculptures and a roll of tape, and here is the edge of the wall, edge of the wall, and some images, and right here there's a whole other room, and there's a cabinet that's a little bit further up, maybe up here. So it's like I have a view into two rooms looking through these chairs. This is the edge of this table that it's sitting on, and there's a bunch of sculptures here out of clay, and some boards right here. So you could see how many different interesting things I can include in here. And this is actually, I didn't even draw on this part. There is a pot of the plant, just noticed it, and another chair right here. There's lots of things in my room. Yeah, let me take up some charcoal so you can see how you can shade it.